Hi there. Okay, more questions to be answered here. Getting asked by quite a number of people about grappling and self-defense and fighting off the floor and all that sort of stuff. And what's my views on it? Okay, I cannot think of a time where a fight, a real fight, with anybody I know, anywhere, has deliberately gone to the floor. I can't think of one. I'm going by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of security staff, hundreds, maybe thousands, all my friends, acquaintances. I can't think of a time where they've deliberately taken a fight to the floor. Now, I'm not including security police on that who are deliberately taking people down to make an arrest. That's because that's completely different. Talking about a self-defense situation here, not an arrest. I can't think of a situation. I've known of times when people have fallen over, people have been knocked down, or they've slammed somebody down to the floor and chosen to slam them down, but not to fight on the floor. The only times I've seen people fighting on the floor is tapes that people have shown where somebody's obviously got some grappling experience, usually BJJ, and they've been in a fight somewhere, someone happens to be there with a phone videoing it. I've seen quite a few of those, and you know, some of them just seem a bit odd. I've also seen some terrible stuff for police where they're being taught to do an armbar, jujikatami, on a suspect as part of their defensive tactics training, which I find insane, absolutely insane. Why, as a police officer, would you want to be laying on your back, holding somebody's arm between your legs? And they've got to tap out, and somehow you've got to get from there to putting the cuffs on. And it just makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. And they're being taught this. And somehow accepting it. You know, absolutely insane. So when it comes to things like grappling, things like that, knowing some very, very good grapplers, I can tell you this, they are extremely effective people. And if they get hold of you, got you down, they can break every bone in your body. I've got the utmost respect for the skill and the ability of the top grapplers that I know. But they will be the first to tell you as well that the last place to be in a real fight is down there on the floor. Which is why I hold so much stock in boxing and stand-up when it comes to self-defense. Sports fights completely different. I'm not even going to mention that. I'm talking self-defense here. So the grappling side of stuff, you don't need to be very skilled for a street fight. You just need to know how to get up quick, get up safely, and be vicious in doing so, whether that be from underneath or from on top. Yes, if you can, and you've got the skills to do something when you hit the floor, if you do hit the floor, or if you choose to go to the floor for whatever strange reason, then yeah, do it. Now, I understand from a lot of the grapplers that I know and their striking ability that if they came up against a decent striker in the street, as opposed to Joe Blow who's just pissed and couldn't fight sleep anyway, but if they came up against a fairly decent striker in the street, or somebody who was a much bigger and determined, then I can fully understand why they might want to take them down or go to the floor, because it's where they feel safe and where they feel they can negate the situation and either get away or inflict enough damage that they can get away, choke them out, whatever. So I fully understand why they may feel the need and why they may in fact do that. However, it's an extremely dangerous thing to do. Extremely dangerous. You've lost all mobility and all sorts of things, and you've got to be skilled. And you know, even if you are very, very skilled, and I know some very, very skilled, much smaller people, a big, strong, determined attacker in a real fight is still going to be a major, major handful on the floor. No major handful standing, don't get me wrong. But I mentioned before that a good, strong right hand on the button tends to weaken that big, strong guy pretty quick. Whereas on the floor, you still got to wear him out. And every second you're on that floor trying to wear him out, wear him down, and get into position on him, is another second where things can go wrong. So I'm very, very wary of things like that. I always say for self-defense, you need to know just enough that you can get up, get away. And we often do, well, not often, but occasionally do some drills with our guys where, let's say, for example, we do have a pretty good grappler in the room. I'm talking a good level here. And somebody who's not that good at grappling, but a good striker. We say, okay, it's a self-defense situation. It's a real fight. You've landed on the floor. Not so good grappling guy. Just get up. Don't care how you do it. Whatever you do, go ballistic and get up. Just get up. Grappler, keep him down. I tell you what, when somebody goes absolutely ballistic, determined to get up, all right, there's still some constraints because there's some certain safety issues you've got to have, or you've got to stop it before things go too wrong. So you do need a couple of people watching sometimes, especially when people get a bit irritated, a little bit agitated, and start cheating too much. It's quite difficult, in fact, very difficult for that grappler to keep them down. Now, change it to a sports situation, the grappler keep them down all day long. Piece of cake, easy as you like. Little itty bitty grappler against a great big, strong, determined non-grappler, still keep them down all day long. Easy peasy. Right? The big guy gets tired out, and it's even easier. Even somebody who's fairly well skilled, the very skilled smaller guy will still, wear him down. Might take him 10, 15, 20 minutes, but still do it. But when it comes to a self-defense situation, and I know the thing about if you've got great skills, you're more likely to be able to do something dirty than somebody who hasn't. Absolutely right, yeah. But when you've got a great, big, strong, determined guy who just wants to get up, it's amazing how much more difficult it is for that grappler to keep them down. If you don't believe me, test it out for yourselves. Work it out for yourselves, and you'll see just the way it is. Anyway, I've rattled on enough now. Keep the questions coming, and I'll keep answering. Thanks a lot. See you soon.